And that was here?
Yeah, it was here, and I can't remember who lived in it. Okay, come back to next to where.
You mentioned the Sinclairs. Was that Irene Sinclair's house?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Where the rose bush, the original rose bush, that a cutting was taken is over at the parsonage now in Bosman.
Oh, that,
I have on the side, there's a great big old rose bush that it's a cutting that was taken from her house over here in Claiborne, this rose over there.
okay, next to the house where people lived, that built a new house, because it was people, the name of Sinclair lived there, which was also related. They were next door. I think they were cousins, so I'm not sure that. He was also the brother of the people in your house, Mrs. Bullen. He was a brother. And one of my stories.
Which house is this that they lived in?
Where the Sayers lived.
Where the Sayers lived?
Yeah.
Beside Fox, right?
Huh?
They're beside Fox, Sayers.
Yeah, right.
And then, and that's the last house
Yeah.
up on Bay. But no, there's that. Well, I'm sure that the rancher wasn't there, right?
The what?
The rancher with the pool in front of it, across the street there. Those look like new houses.
Marie Dex.
Oh, Marek did. That was a house.
That's a very new house, right?
That's a really new house.
Yeah.
When
But there was nothing
That
else
was
there.
built, it was sold off of where Dottie's house is. It was the back lot was sold. In fact, Miss Smith sold them that house. So they bought it to come down here to retire, and they did retire. And shortly after retired, he died. She got sick. I don't know how long the Dex had lived there, but quite a while.
Let me ask you about the little houses that almost look like a campground where Dawn now has her house and the house that she built and sold.
Yeah.
Was that a campground when you were a kid or just owned
There
by?
was nothing.
Oh, okay.
Down where there used to be, you could walk, there was a walk and a bridge. You could walk from one ferry to another.
No, there was.
Right in front of Nancy's house, wasn't it?
Yeah, right in front of Nancy's house.
Across
That
the-
house wasn't there.
Oh.
Nancy's house, where Nancy lived, was the original ticket agent, ticket office.
And that was up, Nancy said that was actually up where the ferry landing is now, the car
Right,
ferry.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they moved it back.
As you go on the ferry, it was on the right-hand side,
Mhm.
ticket agent.
Okay.
Down there where Friedman's, there was, on
There
that
was no
property, there was
Yes, they were
2 or 3
cottages.
little houses, little cottages.
Yeah, they were
What were they?
built right. That house was, that place was undeveloped for years. It's just,
I have a,
yeah,
I think that those little, there used to be when the steamboat and the ferry were running, there were these little concession houses all down there. There were some to the right, right there where the slips, the railway is.
Mm-hmm.
Not the railway, the ramp is. And there were some on the left, all the way over there where the parking is, where we go down into the marsh. And I have a stinking feeling that when everything was moved around and dismantled, I think those buildings were those little concession stands.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, interesting.
Nancy has pictures of that.
Because Nancy wound up with the shed is the water tower base.
yeah.
And
Billy Sewell.
and that used to be right on the corner when you're coming down the road there, and right where the parking lot starts to expand, it was right there on that corner on the left. So I have a feeling that those little cottages were because they didn't make any sense.
No, they didn't.
You know, they were sort of ramshackle, they weren't built terribly well, and there was 3 of them.
Yeah, when Jeff and
And
I
not one of
moved,
them were alike.
when Jeff and I moved down here, had to have been 1980. 88, something like that, 89,
You moved right across the street?
across the street from Marinate. You wasn't there yet, I don't think.
I was
Maybe you were, I
was
don't
just
know.
visiting them.
But I never do what,
I was just
visiting.
visiting.
But Jeff and I used to walk down to the beach, you know, down that road there. And I don't ever remember seeing anybody living in those little houses.
No, no.
Well, the third house was Hunky's house that was a brick, one-story brick thing, which was newer, and that's where real good friends of Thelma and Wade, the Apshers, lived in it. Do you remember who they are? Before we moved there in '95, somebody had moved out. Martini's, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's all
Oh.
on Dawn's
That's,
property. We're
that's
talking
a
about
place,
one
that's
of the
Dawn's
light-
place, Martini.
Okay, you're talking about Stockriders.
Huh?
Stockrider, the guy who owned that property, the families.
Yeah, I guess that was their name.
That's the last people who owned those three little houses, and he tried to live in one, he and his wife
Oh,
and
yeah.
their daughter.
No, I'm talking where Dawn lives. That's where.
You're talking about Dawn's with the three houses?
No.
Oh.
The person you just mentioned, lives where Dawn lives. She bought it from them.
Martini.
Martini.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, oh, okay, that was Martinez lived there, okay.
Yeah.
No, the Stockriders little, I thought they were watermen's cottages, that's what I think we were told.
You
They
know,
were, from what I was told, they were summer places, and it was owned by, or had been passed down to the family members, and apparently, one of the reasons it sat dormant for so long is they were all arguing about who owned it, and one person wanted to sell, and the other person didn't want to sell.
Cousins involved,
Yeah,
all kinds of
it
stuff.
was a big
Took it.
bone of contention.
yeah, I don't remember those little cottages there when I was a kid.
Well, that would have played into it because.
I mean, that was a vacant piece of land.
Did you
Yeah.
play there?
Hmm?
Did you play there?
Yeah, because we could go down to the beach.
Yeah. It was a nice beach then?
Oh,
Bigger?
yeah.
Was it bigger?
Yeah.
Who owned that? Did the railway company, did the?
I don't know who owned it.
Yeah.
Maybe the railroad did own it. I don't know who owned
I don't know, yeah. Well, then if you left town
it. 44.
in 44, the train and the ferry stopped running at 29?
No, the ferry didn't stop at 52.
52, but the
The
train.
train ran at
the tra-
29,
train
the ferry
stopped
stopped in 29.
29,
Yeah.
and the steamboat did.
That's-
Steamboat.
The steamboat ferry
Yeah.
stopped in 29, because as you might probably know, there used to be from the railroad from here to catch the ferry, to go to Ocean City on the railroad.
Did the steamboat run anytime after the train stopped, or did they stop both at the same time?
They stopped both at the same time. I was only 2 years old when it happened, but that's what I've been told. Stopped at the same time.
Wonderful.
The other thing is from Maple Hall, is
Forgot about that.
that, of course, was there, owned by the Cockies, who, some of their relatives still live there. And those houses, all the houses up there have been built recently. I mean, since I left, it wasn't just Maple Hall was there. Up where where John Cocky lives, his father also worked on the ferry. After the ferry stopped, he had a boat right there, repaired boat bars, driven up and straight bottom. Which John had inherited a wonderful business, but he just let it down. Going into where, in what we call Old Claiborne, which is part out there. When I was a kid, where Hugh and lived up there, that was all one farm when I was a kid.
Cabins.
Yeah, okay. And the other, everything up there was all one farm, where they'd broken it up, where I went four different places up there.
Oh.
On the mile.
Now, was
one
that
on
the
left
Sherwood
hand.
farm?
Huh?
Was that the Sherwood farm back
Yeah,
there?
yeah. It's called, sure.
Yeah.
And a fellow named Vogel owned it when I was a kid.
Horse farm, was that what it was? A horse farm, I thought, I heard.
Yeah, right. But it was also, the other farm, on the left-hand side was all tilled and everything. And so, and where the houses, you go up there and the first house on the right.